And we are live on YouTube once again. Aloha, and thank you everyone so much for joining in. This is Wolf, Wolf Shield, Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon, welcoming you to another live tarot readings with Wolf. And let's get things started as we launch the broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And thank you again, everyone, so much just for being here, for hanging out, for being a part of the team, for being a part of the community. We're going to get into some tarot readings. And again, for those of you on Facebook, please begin sharing this broadcast to a few groups. Once we've got about 10 people on Facebook, then we will begin our first reading. And again, that part of the interactive aspect of this broadcast with you sharing this to a few groups is super impactful and super appreciated and super important to be able to invite more people to join in as well. And so if this is your first time here, then this is how we do things here. We do a reading for someone out of the chat, for literally someone out of the chat. And we do it as an individual reading, but also a collective reading. These aren't so much like fortune-telling readings. This isn't like a psychic reading as much as this is a chance for you, for us, to be able to receive a message of inspiration from the universe, and for us as a team to be able to help hold space for that, and for me to be able to serve as a conduit for it. And so if you would like a reading right out of the chat, what we're going to do, we're going to pick someone. And step one, if you're on YouTube, like this video. And even if you're on Facebook, like this video. And then if you haven't already yet, share this video. Like, share it to somewhere on social media. Share it into a group if you're on Facebook. That is super appreciated. If someone can literally, like, again, I can't share this to that many groups on Facebook, but if someone's like, yo, I got some sweet groups I can share this to, please do that. Like, literally, even if it's like 3 or 4, if we can get like 30 people tuned into this broadcast, that's awesome. Because again, as much as this is about like holding space and being able to do tarot, this is also about being able to like build a global team of conscious leaders and creators and people coming together and sharing this cultivated inspiration. So if you would like a reading for tonight's broadcast, what we'll do one right out of the chat, and then the next reading will be for the first person who signs up to the Patreon. And again, for those of you who have been here before, you know a little bit about what our format is. Our objective during tonight's broadcast is to get at least, our target goal is 3 Patreon signups. 3 Patreon signups is going to be our target goal during tonight's broadcast. So, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of broadcasts even tomorrow. Like literally tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a bunch of broadcasts throughout the day. So stick around for that. So if you would like a reading during this broadcast as part of the first reading that we do, step 1, share this broadcast with your friends. Step 2, drop a 333 in the comments right now. Hey Misha, good to see you. And stay tuned for the next instructions. So I want to see how many people we have who are looking for a reading right now. And again, once we've got about at least 10 people tuned in on Facebook, then we will do that first reading. So right now there's only about 2 people tuned in on Facebook, and we want to be able to get the numbers up on Facebook, because then it kind of like reaches this threshold where it can kind of build and build and build. If we just kind of like don't focus on that, then what will happen is it'll just like get stuck at 2 people tuned in for a little bit. So for those of you who are here on Facebook, please assist by sharing this to a few groups. And once we've got about 10 people tuned in on Facebook, then we will do our first reading. And again, the instructions for that, like this video, share it, and then drop a 333 just so I can see how many people we got. And then the next instructions, these are the next instructions. Misha, that's interesting. Yeah, Misha, if you're able to share on my Facebook, that'd be super appreciated. But you can also swipe up on my Instagram and tune in on YouTube. So Misha, you may want to do that. You may want to jump over to either Facebook or YouTube, rather than just watching on Instagram. But either or is good. And so here are your instructions. Share this broadcast, like it, and I'm going to give you a number once we are ready to do this. And then the 5th person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person that we do the tarot reading for tonight. And the second tarot reading that we will do will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon. And I'll explain a little bit more to you about the Patreon as we go. But if we can get some Patreon signups even during the first reading, that is super appreciated. And so if it's your first time here, drop a 222 into the comments. So again, for those of you who haven't maybe like joined in before, my name is Brendan. I'm a conscious media creator. I'm an award-winning Canadian filmmaker. I've been creating conscious media for about 10 years. and being able to like help share my gifts and my talents is something I'm incredibly passionate about, to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness and also build a global community around it. And the project Paradigm Shift Central is something that I'm the director for, and through that you can also get more involved with myself and other leaders worldwide who are working together to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And again, you can check more about that at paradigmshiftcentral.com. And so again, for those of you who are on Facebook, please take a moment here to share this, especially to a couple groups. Once we've got about 10 people tuned in on Facebook, then we're going to pull the first card. And again, the next reading will be for the first person who signs up for Patreon. So our objective during these broadcasts is twofold. And we're going to do our first reading in a minute because we got about 10 people tuned in on Facebook. For those of you who may be new here, what we do is we have a couple objectives. Awesome, Misha, thanks. I'm glad you made it over to the YouTube. Wonderful to see here. And so, and for everybody, honestly, there's a few people who are here who are brand new, so that's wonderful too. So again, just to be able to clarify, like the intention of this broadcast, to be able to provide like awesome value for the community through these like readings and intuitive messages, and for you to be able to be present, to be able to like hear something that might be like really meaningful, that might shift your paradigm. And then the other part of this broadcast is to be able to invite people to support on Patreon so that we can continue to do more of these broadcasts that help support me with the ongoing work that I do as an entrepreneur and as a facilitator for the Paradigm Shift Central community. So let's get right into this first reading. And for those of you on Facebook, please continue to share this as we keep going. And once we get going into this first reading, I encourage those of you who are interested in another reading to check out my Patreon, and you can sign up with either $3, $5, $10, $1 million, whatever works for you. And when you sign up on there, you can also get a super beautiful Light Guardian crystal as an additional pay what you wish contribution. And these are super beautiful items exclusive within the Paradigm Shift Central project that I hand make, and super excited to be able to share with you. And again, how much do these cost? They are a pay what you wish after you sign up for the Patreon for your first one, and you can also find them at questitemshop.com. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. And thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. So let's get right into this. It looks like we've got enough people. So I'm going to give you a number. If you haven't already yet, share this broadcast, like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube. I'm going to give you a number. If you would like to be able to be eligible for this first reading, we're going to pick someone out of the chat based on this synchronistic principle. Once I give you this number, wait a second, don't enter it right away, listen to your heart, listen to your breath. The fifth person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person who we do this reading for. And even as we do it for the one person, we're also doing it for the community. So if you're new here, you'll get a feel for it once we get into it. And thank you again, everyone, for just being here. It's super awesome, again, just to be able to be here. And we're going to be on air for like couple hours at least, so this is just a cool chance for us to be able to be here connecting as community. So everyone say hi to each other. Everyone just type in the chat, just be like hello. Go ahead and feel free to let me know where you're tuned in from. All right, let's get ready to do this. Thank you, Jamie, for joining in as well, and Misha and Jordan and Rose and Rachel and Tanya and everybody else. Okay, here's your number. The first number that we are going to give you to be able to become eligible for this first reading is the number 777. So be the fifth person to enter this number into the chat. Only enter it in once. Entering it in multiple times doesn't increase your chances. And the fifth person across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And as we do that, I will let you know who the first person is that we're doing the reading for. And then again, what we'll do from there is we'll do the next for the next person from the Oracle Lightworker deck, which is like an optional choice, which is super cool. So that's like a little like mini objective. All right, so here come the digits. All right, okay, cool. Awesome. Wow, okay, that's beautiful. So the first reading that we're going to be doing here tonight is going to be for Misha. So Misha, thank you so much for being here. Super excited just to be able to have everybody here. So again, those numbers, that's based on like multiple chats. So that's why, again, we're able to determine that. So Misha was the fifth person who entered that across the YouTube and the Facebook and the Twitch channels there. So Misha, thank you so much for joining. And let's get right into this first reading. So as we're doing this for everybody here, please continue to share this broadcast and go ahead and check out the Patreon once you get a chance. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And again, that's the monthly micro donation to support myself, but also the work that we do within the community. And being able to like have your support on Patreon is super beneficial. And again, this is a part of like my devotion, my job, me being able to build a Patreon is less about money and more about global impact. So thank you for adding your support there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So Misha, if you are ready for this reading, just let me know in the chat. Just be like, I'm ready. And what we're going to do, we're going to invite everybody here to just begin dropping into their heart space. So just everybody here, just take a moment here and just connect with your breath. And that's the thing. I want everybody here to understand that even though we're doing this reading, like through Misha as a conduit, if you are here, this reading is still for you. This message is still for you. So open your heart to this. Open your heart to this. For those of you on Instagram, swipe up on my Instagram story to tune in on YouTube. And for those of you on YouTube, please feel free to like this video, and I'll keep an eye on the chat as we go. Awesome. All right, so for everybody here, just drop into your heart space. And just take a deep, deep breath here. Nice big exhale. And so for Misha, for everybody, just inviting you to just really be in this space of gratitude, wherever you are right now. The mere fact that you are breathing, I want you to feel grateful for that. Bring in that gratitude and just be present in your heart space. Now, Misha, what I'm going to invite you to do, I'm going to invite you as you're kind of meditating here, and for everybody here, Misha, I want you to focus on the intention of show me what I need to see. And I want you to repeat this a few times in your head, in your heart. And again, when we do these readings, this isn't like a fortune telling or a psychic reading. This is a chance for the universe to be able to deliver to you a message, for us to be able to hold space together, and for me to be able to serve as a conduit. So out of this, the intention is to be able to provide inspiration, clarity, motivation. So thank you again, Misha. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. So, Misha, just allowing and inviting yourself to bring yourself into that intention of show me what I need to see. And for everybody here, I want you to kind of like imagine yourself just kind of like working with Misha in this. You can just kind of visualize this in a circle, just holding space. Here's tribe. Again, we're doing tarot reading, but this is like literally team building. Misha, when you are ready, after you take a couple more breaths, type now into the chat, and then we will pull the first card for you. And as she's doing that, I'm just going to charge the deck up with a little bit of flowetry. And so it is with this breath that we continue to do our best, for that is all we can ever do. If we could do more, then you know it would be true. But the fact is, we are right where we need to be. But the fact is, we are extending our roots as the trees, and we stand and we grow, and our leaves may fall off, but that does not stop us from bringing down this love from above. So as Misha types now into the chat, we pull this first card to be able to see what the universe has. So there's the first card that we pulled there. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. For those of you who are joining, if it's your first time, drop a 222 in the chat. If you've been here before, drop a 999 in the chat. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so just charging this up with the Light Guardian Crystal. The first card that we've pulled tonight on behalf of Misha, for the team, for the community, at this very important nexus of the new moon moving into Halloween retrograde and all that fun stuff. Here we go. Is Swords 4. So give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to open this up. And this is using the Ananda Tarot deck for those of you who are interested. And again, we've been doing these readings for quite some time. So if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe. We have a lot of awesome value that we provide through these broadcasts and through the other work that we are doing. We had an awesome synergy circle last night, which is again bringing together leaders and creators in the community. It's like a round table discussion, super powerful. So we're gonna get right into this reading. Thank you again, everyone. Misha, Paper Druid, GTM. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. For those of you on Facebook, please continue to share this broadcast. And again, for those of you who would like to be able to jump the line for the next reading, go ahead and check out my Patreon. Sign up for that. The next reading will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon tonight. Patreon is a website to support artists with monthly donations, and our objective during this broadcast is to get 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. So thank you for your support. So here we got this beautiful card, Swords 4. So I'm just going to explain visually what we got here. Do you guys like my lighting? Can you see my mood lighting on the side? It's like kind of like red. You can kind of, it's a lightsaber just sitting there. So, all right. So what do we got here visually? For those of you on Instagram, be sure to swipe up on my Instagram story to tune in on YouTube. That way, so you can like see the proper camera angle. All right, Misha, thank you again. Super, super honored to be able to have you here. Everybody, thank you for being here, for holding space. So visually, what do we got here? 4 of Swords. We have 4 swords in the sky, each one pointing in different directions, up, down, left, right. And the sky is just like kind of not nighttime, but we can see a little bit of the darkness in the sky and the mountains in the distance and this rich landscape, and the swords are kind of like transparent and got some cool kind of like holographic fractal patterns in the sky. So again, that's just a literal interpretation. That's not even interpretation. That's just explaining what's visually on the card. And now I'll read from the book, and then what we'll do, we'll go into a little bit more detail. And again, this is practice for me too. So this is like practice being able to be present and allow these messages to come forth. So again, this message is for Misha, but hey, if you're here, this message is for you too. So thank you everyone for being here. You guys are awesome. I love you. Conscious team building disguised as tarot reading, essentially. So, all right. 4 of Swords. The image. Hinting at the form of a cross, 4 glass swords hover before an opening in the sky, pointing to different directions. Meaning, the 4 of Swords points to finding the pathway to inner truth. And as you're listening to this, Misha, you can just kind of like meditate, close your eyes. For anybody here, just be present. The 4 of Swords points to finding the pathway to inner truth. This can be through decoding the unconscious, interpreting dreams, or reflecting upon the value of past experiences as their evaluation for future undertakings, Whichever form is chosen, it has the goal of returning a state of natural order, the conditions for this inner collection and concentration. To achieve this state of inner peace, inner peace is necessary in order to recall inherent powers and make use of all possibilities. Once set free, mental powers can be activated to work against the negative effects and worry and fear. I'll reread that. Once set free, mental powers can be activated to work against the negative effects of worry and fear. If the inner call to peace and recuperation is ignored, it can be that the body reacts with sickness. To support the process of becoming more conscious, it is meaningful to use current gifts and talents constructively. These consist of, among other things, the ability to write, to teach, and to differentiate. If inner actions are brought into the light of conscious thinking, a clear boundary is made to the outer world. Astrological significance: Mercury, Neptune, square aspects. Keywords: meditation, reflection, dream interpretation, order, finding oneself, awareness process, organizational abilities. Traditional meaning: standstill, limitation, pause, gathering new strength, forced rest, planning phase. Very cool. So this is a great card to be able to receive, especially like as we're going through like the Scorpio new moon. Aren't you guys excited for like the Scorpio new moon? My favorite new moons. Absolutely. Each one's got their own flavor to it. This card has a lot to do with about being able to remind ourselves of the importance of slowing down before we jump into that next chapter. Whatever life holds for us, whatever life has for us on the horizon, there is always value in being able to take time to be able to reflect, not just on where we are going, but where we have come from, to really be able to reflect, to make sure, have we extracted the lessons from our past chapter to the best of our ability. And oftentimes you will see this within people's experiences. Something's going to happen to them, and yet if they don't fully process it, if they don't fully pay attention to it, then they'll oftentimes find themselves like in a situation that might have like similar themes to what they just went through. And that's not because like the universe is just trying to say like, oh, hey, here's more challenges, here's more of this, but more so it's kind of being able to basically say like, hey, if you really sat with the lessons that were given to you the first time, we wouldn't actually have to be repeating it. And so with this card, again, for you, Misha, I think it's a very important card to acknowledge that as chapters change within our life, there's always benefit to being able to take time to slow down. And one of the things that I really like to be able to remind people of is that there is always time for one more breath. Like there's literally always time for one more breath. Just to be able to like, say you're about to just kind of like rush out the door, or you're about to like make a phone call, or you're about to like go into an interview or something like that. If you literally just kind of give yourself that permission to just slow down, to just go into that place of reflection, to go into that place of processing and organization literally like in the physical sense, but also in terms of like the relationship that we have with our emotions. Because ultimately this card is really reminding us that it is our responsibility in terms of how we relate to our emotions, on how we manage our emotions. And so rather than just kind of like jumping into that new chapter, this card is really kind of reminding us that like where we stand at that crossroad with the four swords kind of going in four directions, like that's kind of what you see in this visually, is like this cross section. But it's also, again, really reminding us that it's okay to sometimes in either intentionally or unintentionally feel like we are at this standstill. If the universe has brought us to a standstill, then that's actually a really beautiful thing to be able to like use that time to serve yourself, to reflect, to be able to think about what do I need to bring with me into this next chapter, and maybe what do I want to leave behind, and what has this last chapter given me. And so again, for you, Misha, and for everybody here, again, a big part in this is reflecting upon the values of past experiences and their evaluation for future undertakings. So whatever experiences have happened to you in the past, be it recently or be it whenever it was, and I say this to Misha, but I say this to everyone, make sure that you honor these experiences by experiencing them, by feeling them, not by bypassing them, but by being able to extract their lessons like sweet nectar from the universe, like gold from the universe. What if like any sort of lesson, be it ones that are joyful or be it ones that are strenuous, ones that may be heartbreaking, are all incredibly valuable. And it's up to us to be able to like hold our hands out and to be able to receive that. And that's a very courageous thing to be able to do intentionally. And again, I just kind of like acknowledge that like say for example, you're going through some sort of hard time, something has happened, something is testing you. The body will often kind of get into this flight or fight mode where it's like, I don't want this. I don't want this because this is difficult and it makes me uncomfortable. But that concept, that mind making that choice, is again oftentimes based on like kind of conditioning, past programming, internal aspects, reptilian mind. But if we can kind of use our conscious choice to be able to say like, I know this is uncomfortable, but what I do is I take my hands and I hold them like this, and I say to the universe, I am ready. And you hold your hands out, and out of this, the universe says like, ah, yes, here, have this lesson, have this growth, have this gratitude. And again, it is through the ability of being able to go through the challenges and to still be able to receive them as a gift is such an advanced, beautiful thing to be able to do, and such an important part of being able to grow as a leader. Because everybody is going to be going through these challenges, but not everyone knows. Not everyone has the same instinct to be able to like process them with gratitude. And so when we share our stories, when we move through our narratives of just being able to speak within our own heart, to be able to say, I am grateful for these past experiences because of how they are preparing me for the future, regardless of how I perceive them to be. Again, it's kind of like this idea that, you know, like from the higher perspective of the universe, there is no like good or bad experience. It is merely experience. The good and the badness comes in its ability for how we relate to it and how we are able to use it as fuel, as nutrition, as something that is going to help us deepen our soul. and something ultimately that is there to serve us, to prepare us before we move into that next chapter, as we transition into that chapter. And chapters often overlap. Like, that's the thing. It's not always like one ends and the other just begins. They kind of overlap. So this card is really acknowledging for you, Misha, and for anybody, to honor the transition period, to honor the phase where you kind of feel you're kind of between chapters right now, to not think that you have to rush into it, and to always know that there's always time for one more breath. And metaphorically, meaning the universe will honor the speed that you move at. And you don't have to be the hare. You can be the tortoise. And the only reason, like the reason the tortoise won is because the tortoise was only being what it was, a tortoise. And so Misha only needs to be Misha. You don't have to do it based on like what somebody else might be expecting, or what somebody else has done in the past, or how they've related to it. Every experience is unique. And it's up to us to, again, to show up as students, to be able to meditate, to reflect. And again, I love how one of the keywords in this is dream interpretation. And I know from knowing Misha, who again is like a community member who I've connected with in the past, dreams are such an important thing, and I know it's something that both of us are passionate about. So again, just this little reminder to be able to encourage you to like not only reflect back on the past experiences, but to equally reflect back on like what is coming through the dream space right now, specifically right now, as things are kind of transitioning, because there's more of that gold kind of being poured into your hands. And even in the dream space, like, can you hold your hands? Can you be able to say like, yes, like, I want this to be able to be like brought into my being, so I can carry this experience. And again, not just for me, but suddenly my story becomes bigger than my own. And I think that's a very important thing, is that for all of us, our leadership is seen even when no one is looking. And we don't have to do things to be a leader, but to know that when we do things authentically, others see it. And that's important, and that's healing. And that's when something that can be discomforting and traumatic can actually become medicine for someone else, based on our ability to be able to communicate how we move through it, how we relate to it. Because again, suddenly that idea of like, oh, bad things are bad begins to shift. Bad things are relative. Experiences are relative. How we choose to relate to them are relative. An experience of, again, like hurt, pain, loss can oftentimes turn into a gift of deep presence, gratitude, and just connection, and reminding yourself of like what is important. And so again, I say that to Misha, and I say that to everyone. And I know Misha, I'm kind of saying that kind of because like I know like you're already kind of like on that level, and I just kind of wanted to be able to like communicate a little bit of kind of like what has been processing with other people, so that they can be able to hear this. Because again, I think all of us have a very important story that is worth being seen and worth being shared. And so again, this card, traditional meaning, standstill, limitation, pause, gathering new strength, forced rest, planning phase. So this is an important thing. Like, I'll just wrap it up here. The idea of forced rest, so important. And as the card kind of says here, that if you don't rest, if like in any situation, if you don't rest, the body will react with sickness. Like, it will literally force you to rest. If you're just like in this phase where you're just like, I'm just going to keep going, I just got to keep going. Eventually the body will be like, no, you actually do have to slow down. And since you're not going to slow down by will, we're going to like make you get sick. And then it will force you to slow down. So again, just kind of like reminding ourselves that the universe will move at the speed that we move, because we are the universe, and it's okay for us to slow down. The synchronicities will still be there. The lessons will still be there when we are ready for them. We meet the universe halfway. So use this time of kind of transition in between, this crossroad, to gather new strength, to see it as a gift, and to be able to see it as a launch pad into more inspiration, into more gratitude, into more appreciation, into a broader understanding of life, and ways that we can kind of like bring that into our art, bring that into our story, bring that into our relationships, and to be able to like bring forth the gifts in our heart as we let the experiences in. So I'll just say this, if the experiences come at us, and we don't let them in, if we keep resisting them, then it kind of prevents this process of it kind of going into our heart and transforming and then becoming a gift that can actually be shared, right? So like that's usually, we're literally transmutation machines. Something that may be, again, an unpleasant experience literally goes into us. We experience it, we transmute it through our heart, and then it comes out of us as a gift for ourselves, but also for someone else too. So that's what I'll say on that. So again, that's a very powerful card. And again, definitely a good card for us to be able to be reminded of literally at this new moon time. This is a great time to just be able to think like, okay, like, how can I slow down? How can I prepare for what's coming next? How can I reflect? How can I make sure that I'm doing the work to be able to process and learn from the lessons of this past chapter and to use it to fuel my new strength as I move into this next phase? So beautiful, beautiful card. So boom, says Misha. Misha, anybody else, specifically Misha, let me know how this card resonates with you. And Misha, even feel free to like type out some words and then I can read them on screen. Like even if you have a message that you kind of want to elaborate or kind of like extrapolate on based on something we talked about here, if there's something you want to communicate right now, please feel free to like leave that in the chat and I'll read it on screen. And so again, Misha, this is like a really powerful card that's also just like honoring you where you are at and just really reminding you that like wherever you are is exactly where you need to be in order to be able to get to where you're going. And when you can see that, when you can really acknowledge that, like that's a game changer. That's a paradigm shift. That's like, again, what happens when we can really be grateful for any experience. That says a lot about a soul, because not everyone can do that. So, but again, it's something that can be learned over time. So Misha, again, this is a very powerful card that's basically, again, just saying that like you are loved. You are moving through an experience that has always been a part of your story. And as you honor that, as you receive it, as you transmute it, it becomes something more powerful than you could possibly even know. And so just be open to that. So, and Misha, totally just sending you lots of love. You know, I'm really grateful that you were able to tune in tonight. And thank you, yeah, thank you for just like being here and for allowing us to kind of like share space. And Misha says, thank you for seeing me. And yeah, absolutely, Misha. Like always seeing you. Like that's kind of the beauty of, again, the internet. Like we're always seeing each other. And Misha, I really, really appreciate you like allowing us to see you, because I know you make a very, very important impact in a lot of people's lives, and you will continue to do that. And so thank you. And I hope that this little message from the universe just reminds you of how powerful and important of a creator and leader that you are. And I see that, and I really honor it. And I'm excited to be able to continue to just like be in this digital space and to witness what you're continuing to create. So thank you, Misha. Thank you. So there we go. So for anybody else, if this card resonates with you, please feel free to drop an 1111 in the chat and go ahead. You leave a comment. Let me know how that resonates with you. And we'll just take a quick intermission here and I'll read some comments on screen as well. So awesome. Misha says, beautiful gift. Thank you. And also said this resonates so much with what you shared. So beautiful. Thank you, Misha. So I'll read some more comments as we kind of go through here. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, swipe up on Instagram to join in on YouTube. G Girl, who left a donation for $2 in the super chat. Thank you. Although I do have to let you know that, first of all, super chat donations don't actually like get to me. Because the way super chat works, you have to get like over $100 of donations before you can even process it, and I'm not at that. So I don't tell people to sign up to my super chat, and I wish there was a way I could disable that, and maybe there is, and I just haven't figured it out yet. So I do apologize, G Girl, because I can't refund that either. And also, G Girl, I don't specifically do like answers for questions. That's not quite how I do the readings here. So you're like asking about like something related to kind of like a psychic visioning. That's not how I do the readings here. And I apologize if you do have any questions in general. Just let me know in the chat. Not like psychic questions, but just in general. And I'll explain to you a little bit more about how we do the readings here. So G Girl, I do apologize for that. If I were to just kind of like again, I don't try to do psychic readings and stuff like that. So even though you asked your question, I literally don't have like a yes or no answer to that. I do apologize. But thank you again for being here, and yeah, just giving you a heads up. For anybody here, please do not donate to the super chat. That is not the format that we use here, but I appreciate the gesture nonetheless, and I will be sure to pay it forward. So, awesome. Yeah, smash that like button, says everyone. All right, let's see how many people we got tuned in right now. So again, we're just going to take a quick little bit of intermission. I just want to give some shout outs to everybody who's here. The next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And again, the Patreon is a monthly micro donation to be able to help support the ongoing work that we do for the community. Patreon is a dope website that I encourage other artists to consider creating. Misha, you could probably benefit, you would benefit from creating a Patreon. That might be like just kind of planting that seed. And Misha, send me a direct message about that on the side if that's something you're interested in, because I'm going to be, for those of interested, with my Patreon supporters in the future, I'm actually going to be like doing some exclusive webinars teaching people how to be able to like build their Patreon so that they can build regenerative income to be able to have the support as artists through like monthly contributions and everything like that. So we're just going to take a quick break here. I have to rest my throat. Talking like this again takes a little bit of energy, and this is a performance and a show, so thank you again so much everyone for joining. We're going to just hold off here, and the next reading that we will do for the first person who signs up for the Patreon. And again, our objective tonight is to be able to get 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. And again, the Patreon, the Patreon is, again, a monthly micro contribution to support the ongoing work that I do. Be sure to check that out there. Again, I'm a award-winning Canadian filmmaker, full-time conscious media creator. This is what I do as my job, as my devotion. Doing these tarot reading broadcasts is about being able to provide value for the community through these readings and through these insights and through this inspiration and through this guidance. And it is also about being able to help invite people to support on Patreon so that we can work towards our future goals. Our current objective is to work towards 150 Patreon signups, and we're currently at 127. Special bonus shout out to our recent supporters, Jacob, Javier, John, and Alicia. Thank you so much. So let's hang tight here for a second. And again, the next reading that we do, we'll do for someone once they have signed up for the Patreon. And if anybody here, let me know if you're in the process of signing up for the Patreon. And again, if you've just met me for the first time, first of all, thank you so much. It's an honor to meet you too. Go ahead and at least check out my Patreon, meaning you can check it out and you can always sign up for it later to be able to get a private reading if you prefer. That is an option as well. So for anybody here, please let me know if you are in the process of signing up for the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to be able to just like create a profile and enter in your credit card to be able to get that process. And when you sign up, you also get discount for other items, including the shift buttons, which are super cool items. I'll just show you a couple here. Again, these are dope items. These are conscious tools and swag to be able to get more connections out of this reality, to be able to evoke synchronicity. 5 Bless, seeing your comment there, says, be right back, gonna sign up. Thank you, 5 Bless. Thank you so much. And I'll have to, I think 5 Bless probably just dropped out to go sign up, which is awesome. For people interested, when you sign up to the Patreon, you can also get a beautiful Light Guardian crystal. And when you sign up for the Patreon, you can get a Light Guardian crystal for an additional pay what you wish contribution. Like literally you could pay like $5 for these. These things in themselves, they're worth, again, quite a lot because the value is kind of arbitrary. But on the questitemshop.com, we sell them for $35 and up to $100. And if you sign up at the $11 value per month, then you can also get a Lumerian Light Guardian crystal. And a reminder for anybody here on the Patreon, even if somebody here is already signed up for the Patreon and you want to increase your monthly donation, that is always appreciated too. And that can count towards a reading for the team. And then we can choose a reading either for yourself or for someone in the live chat. So we'll get right into our next reading in a second. And again, I just have to watch my voice, and I'm going to be doing more of these broadcasts. My objective is to get 10 Patreon signups between like now and tomorrow evening before I have to go to hockey. So in 24 hours from now, I'll still be here doing broadcasts, but I'm not going to be on air 24 hours straight. So GTM asking, can I pay for a year at once? That is totally possible. You can just send me a message online if that actually works better for you. Either way, like it's still going to add up to the same thing. So if that's actually more to your preference, then just let me know and I'm totally open to that. So GTM, you can send me a message even just on on Instagram would be fine. And I'll just post a link in here for my Instagram for those of you interested. And thank you, GTM. Yeah, so again, if you sign up at $11 on Patreon, you can get the Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal, and I'll show you one of the Lumerian ones. Here's like a dope orange one. I actually have to make a few new Lumerian ones. This one, like, God, I want to eat this one. Don't you just want to, like, looks like orange juice, like straight up. Or like an orange, like freezy, or like a gummy or something like that. These look delicious though. So all right, so hang tight everyone. We're just gonna take a little bit of an intermission, but we'll get right into the next reading. Awesome. Misha says, thank you again so much, Brendan. I'll check back in with you later. Much gratitude. Have a great night. Thank you, Misha. Thank you as well, and much love to you as well. We'll keep in touch. All right, so again, for those of you who are interested, I'm going to be making some more exclusive content on Patreon. Once we reach our goal of 150 supporters on Patreon, I'm going to release my my exclusive interview with Sasquatch. So if you want to see my interview with Sasquatch, then help us reach our Patreon goal of 150. So, and once we get up to 300, I'm going to go to Rhythmia and document my ayahuasca experience. So again, I'm probably gonna do that. I'm probably gonna create like little like cool milestones as we keep going forward to be able to create the incentives for more people to be able to add their support. All right, so just keeping an eye open here. 5 Blessed was in the process of signing up, so we're just gonna wait until they're ready. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna sit here and sip some tea. Let's see, how many people do we got tuned in right now? We've got probably a couple people on Instagram. And how many likes do we got? We got 7 people tuned in on YouTube, and we got a few likes. We got 12 likes on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, please feel free to like this video. And thank you again, everyone. If it's your first time here, just drop a 222 in the comments. And for those of you on Facebook, please continue to share this broadcast. We're currently at 3 people on Facebook, so let's try and boost the Facebook a little bit. For those of you who are on Facebook, for those of you on YouTube, what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna post my Facebook link into the YouTube. And since I know everyone on YouTube, you guys are like big fans and you guys are awesome. If you can help share this broadcast on Facebook, meaning if you can share it to a few groups, then that would be super, 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 super appreciated. Because again, what happens with the Facebook is that like if it drops below a certain amount, then it doesn't show up in feeds. And then like people stop finding it. So once we can kind of create a threshold boost, then more people will just continue to find it ongoing. And again, that's like, yeah, it's to be able to get them connected with the community, to be able to allow them to receive the value of what we're creating here through the broadcast. And again, to be able to just like connect with like this, oh, I already said that, to the community and everything like that. But yeah, they can be here, they can get messages, and it might change their life. So, all right, let me just see if there's a couple other places that I can share this to. See, that's the thing. I don't know which groups to share it to. There's so many groups that I've like tried to share it to, and then they just ban me. So it's hard to, you gotta be like really careful which groups you send it to. Oh, GTM, that's awesome. GTM sent it to their mom. That's beautiful. All right, give me 2 seconds here, and we'll get into our next reading once we've got that next Patreon sign up. And again, for anybody here, if you want to update if we can get like more Patreon signups as we go, then we just don't have to wait between here and now for here and later to be able to jump right back into that next one. And I'm just going to get a quick drink here. And so again, our objective is to get at least 2, ideally 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. And again, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff for Patreon supporters. I'm even gonna like re-release my my like mushroom, my 5-gram mushroom video as well. And so if you haven't already yet, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, welcome. If you just tuned in on Facebook, drop a 222 into the chat. And we're just in a bit of a intermission right now as we're just getting ready to jump into our next broadcast. Thank you again, Tanya, for sharing. Eve, thanks so much for being here. Alicia, Lilith, thank you again. Anita, thank you for being here. Orange juice, Spidey. Yo, you guys get hyped when I drink the orange juice, don't you? Alright, for those of you tuning in on Instagram, swipe up on my Instagram story to tune in on YouTube. And for those of you on YouTube, if anybody here is in the process of signing up, please feel free to let me know. And Bless5 mentioned that they're in the process of signing up. So we're just waiting for that next confirmation on Patreon to be able to do the next reading once we've got that. Beautiful. GTM, just reading your comment there. Ha! Glad the whole family's here. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Give me 2 seconds here. So again, if we can get another person sign up on Patreon while we're waiting, like 5 Bless, like we'll wait for their reading. We'll wait for their sign up before we do the next reading. But again, if anybody here is able to sign up as we're just in the process of waiting here, then we can go right into the next one as well. And I gotta figure out some more tactics for like getting this more up on Facebook as well. And my plan is to do this broadcast for at least a couple hours. So, so if anybody here is interested in signing up for the Patreon, like eventually, even just let me know in the chat. That way, so again, I'm just like getting feedback. Here, I'll show you guys this one. What do you think of this one? This is like a super dope Auralite 23 Light Guardian crystal. So this one's super beautiful. Anita, you're awesome. So this Auralite 23 crystal would actually like be equivalent to a Lumerian Light Guardian crystal. The Auralite 23 crystals, the Auralite itself is like the oldest known crystal on Earth at 1.2 billion years old, and it's like well sought after for its metaphysical properties, and it's like part amethyst, part other minerals. So super cool. And again, here I'll show you just one of the light changing color ones. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. We had an awesome broadcast the other night for our Paradigm Shift Synergy Circle. How many people here were tuned in for that as well? What'd you guys think of that? That was pretty fun. Sweet. For those of you tuning in on Twitch, thanks so much for tuning in and for being a positive contribution to the community. Super cool. Again, I broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch because you never know where people are synchronistically going to tune into. For those of you just tuning in, we're just in the process of hanging tight as we wait for the next person to sign up for the Patreon. We'll give it a couple more minutes. If that next person doesn't sign up, I'm okay waiting to be able to just like honor the energy exchange of doing the next reading once that next person is signed up on Patreon, which again works towards our objectives. And thank you again, everyone, for your patience and for your support and for just hanging out here. Sweet. Nick, thanks for your comments in the chat. I'll keep an eye open for confirmation if you signed up on Patreon. So I don't think you did. So yeah, again, it's super cool. Like YouTube chat is like people who are just like, you know, involved with the community and they've been hanging out here and they're like part of the broadcast and stuff like that. Facebook is like a lot of people who are kind of like finding it for the first time, and maybe they're seeing it in a group and it's like their first chance to get connected. And then like Twitch is like people synchronistically just kind of landing across it, and then like honestly 85% of the people who land on the video in Twitch are like, usually they have like this it's a very different mentality. Often kind of like their initial way they say hello is just by like troll humor. So which I appreciate. So it's funny. Welcome to the internet. All right. Your crystal is from the beginning of time, Spidey. Yes. Oh, the Auralite crystal? Yeah. Like 1.2 billion years? Like what? That is crazy old. That is amazing though. So sweet. For those of you looking for the Light Guardian crystals, again, they're also available at questitemshop.com, and when you sign up on the Patreon, you get discounts. And also when you sign up for the Patreon, I'm going to be doing some exclusive some exclusive like webinars in the future. Again, focusing more on media creation and also teaching people how to be able to create their own Patreon startups and stuff. Hey, Strawberry, thanks for joining in. Strawberry, if you're joining in on Instagram, for anybody joining in on Instagram, swipe up on Instagram to be able to tune in on YouTube as well. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're just in the process of hanging tight for a little bit. I haven't seen a sign up from 5 Blessed yet, so again, I would like to be able to invite anybody else to sign up for the Patreon as we get ready to move into our next reading. And for those of you looking for a reading, they are available for people who sign up to support on Patreon with a monthly micro donation of either $3, $5, $11. And if it's your first time connecting with me, go ahead and check out the Patreon and you'll see the awesome value that we're creating and providing there for the community. So, cool. And we'll hang tight. Again, I don't want to leave you guys hanging too long. Though at the same time, we want to be able to like honor the energy exchange of doing the next reading, like as we're like getting new people signed up for the Patreon. So for anybody here, if you're already signed up for the Patreon, know that you can always update your Patreon pledge, and then that can actually count towards a reading, and we'll do a reading for yourself or someone in the community. In the chat as well. And yeah, tarot is super exciting thing to be able to do, and I hope by me doing these broadcasts it encourages and inspires other people to be like, yo, I can do this where I am too. So so you guys let me know if anybody here is in the process of signing up for the Patreon, and then we can just like wait an extra couple seconds to be able to do that. Nick, thanks for joining in, dude. Sorry, I'm not taking lewd requests. Alright. So Wolf, Morphic Crystal, thanks for joining in. GTM, Mimi, Mimi, aka GTM's mom. Misha, who was here earlier. Ashley, thanks for joining in. Again, 5 Blessed. Thank you as well. Begisha. Anybody else? All right, you guys let me know. What do you prefer that we do? Do you prefer that we wait for the next person to sign up for the Patreon, or do we do another reading just purely for anybody out in the chat? And again, if we do another reading, then we definitely want to be able to get a Patreon sign up for the next reading after that, because again, I want to be able to like honor the fact that people are tuning in here, so I don't want them to be like hanging. Basically, if people are tuning in, then I want them to be able to like also get value in what it is that we're doing here, opposed to just like hanging around between intermission. Cool. Yeah, GTM, that's totally possible. So yeah, GTM, we can do that for like next time, just because I'll give like a more like focused reply there on a second. But yeah, like I'll post some monthly contributions if you wanted to do a single upfront contribution through my PayPal. That can work too, because it's kind of still like equivalent to one and the same. The monthly contributions are preferred though, but it's totally understandable if you want to just do like a single contribution. Thanks again for those of you tuning in. You look like you're in a ship. Cool. I'm glad I look like it. Yeah, I guess. I know what you mean, right? Like with like the background in my Merkabahs, my lightsabers. All right. So again, I don't totally. So yeah, we'll see. Again, the broadcast is really something that is continuously fueled by the community. So you guys signing up on the Patreon and adding your support there continues to allow us to do more readings for people during the broadcast. And so we did have a person who was in the process of signing up for the Patreon. We didn't They may still be in the process of signing up for it, but nothing's come through yet. And we were kind of just giving them extra minute to see if that was in the process of happening. But we can, I want to be able to like honor the conditions of doing the readings for people that are signing up for the Patreon. So again, Kimmy, thank you so much for joining in. So the readings that we were doing, we do readings like straight out of the chat for people who are tuned in at the beginning. And then the additional readings that we do from there are for people signing up to the Patreon, which is a monthly micro contribution to support the ongoing work that I do as a conscious media creator. And again, I'm a award-winning Canadian filmmaker, full-time conscious media creator. I do like free hugs videos. I've done full-length movies, tons of guided meditation, all the content. The majority of the content that I put out is for free for the community. I've been doing this for about 10 years. And we've got an awesome community, an awesome project that we're creating. And when you support on Patreon, you're supporting not only my livelihood as an artist, but also the ongoing evolution of the project for the community as well. Cool. All right. Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. We do have a new Patreon sign up from our friend Murray in the who's on Facebook right now. So Murray, thank you so much, brother, for adding your support on Patreon. And with that said, we will get right into our next reading, and I super appreciate that, and that adds a little rocket fuel to this as we continue to move forward. And again, we'll update the on-screen information here. And Murray, you've been following the work that we've been doing here for quite some time, so thank you so much for your support, brother, and super honored to be able to have you connected. And again, Murray, for yourself and for other people, at the $11 a month, you also have the option of being able to be involved as a leading member. And a leading member is like our private membership space where you get to work alongside myself and other conscious media creators. You get to be on air for our upcoming broadcast, and you have access to me for media consultation to be able to help assist you in growing your content and evolving as a conscious media creator. So Murray, send me a direct message afterwards if you're interested in also being involved as a leading member. And again, for anybody here, you can also connect to the team chat. And I'll post do I have a quick link for the team chat right now? I do have a quick link for the team chat. I'm going to post that in 2 seconds. So for anybody here, if you want to join our team chat, absolutely, please feel free to do that. And we'll get right into this next reading in a second. And that's our Discord chat. So give me 2 seconds here. I just got to grab that link. So beautiful. All right, so we're going to do this next reading for Murray on behalf of the team. For those of you tuned in on Facebook, please continue to share this broadcast with your friends. And then the next reading after this will be for the next person who signs up on Patreon as well. And so again, as we're doing this reading, if anybody is just interested, again, we've been doing a lot of readings here, a lot of awesome feedback. People really love the vibe that we create here as a community and the value we provide. And again, you can also get a private reading if you prefer. And also when you sign up, you get lots of cool discounts, such as the option to get a light guardian crystal for an additional pay what you wish. And the donations process on November 1st. And my objective is to be able to get 10 new Patreon signups between now and tomorrow. So tomorrow you're actually going to see me live on air like multiple times throughout the day. And again, we'll have an awesome time doing that. So Murray, let's get right into this next reading. And as we're doing this, we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon sign up. For the next person who wants a reading after Murray, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon and help us get our objective of our objective of 2 signups is great, but if we can get 3, then we'll do a reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck. So let's switch gears here and focus on our reading for Murray. So Murray, if you're ready for this reading, just drop a comment in the chat. Let us know that you're ready. For those of you on Instagram, swipe up on Instagram, on my Instagram story to be able to tune in. And we will get right into this next reading. All right. Just give me 2 seconds here. Murray, thanks again, brother. Super appreciated. All right. Murray is ready. Okay. All right, let me just check here. Kimmy, I see your comment in the chat. I'll confirm once I see it on my email. And just to let you know, Kimmy, it usually pops up right away, and I'm not seeing a notification. Kimmy is saying that they signed up on Patreon. And thank you for just even like doing that, but I don't see the notification, so I don't know for sure if you signed up properly, Kimmy. Just letting you know. So Kimmy, double check that, and I'll keep an eye open for it, and I'll know for sure because I'll see it and I'll confirm. So we'll keep an eye open for that. And again, Kimmy, thank you again just for being here and for your support. Murray, let's get right into this reading. So for everybody here, let's do this together. Again, so many times that we do this, it's just like, wow, this is like, again, like very powerful to be able to create this space as a community for these messages to come through. So for everybody here, just take a few breaths, drop into your heart space. And Murray, just bring yourself into that space of gratitude, this moment of just being here, being present, being with your breath. For everybody here, just allowing ourselves to hold space as a community. And again, the intention here to be able to receive a message from the universe, for us to be able to receive inspiration, clarity, insight, guidance, for us to be able to hold space, and for myself to be able to practice serving as a conduit, for us to be mirrors to see each other's growth. Murray, I invite you to be able to align with the intention of show me what I need to see. Very simple, but very powerful. Breathe that into your heart. Repeat it in your heart. Repeat it in your minds. And when you're ready, Murray, after a few more breaths of this, show me what I need to see. Type now into the chat. And when you do that, we will pull a card for you synchronistically. And I'll do a little bit of flowetry as we do this. And so, do you feel these vibes as we rise to the sky, spreading our wings as we fly oh so high, continuing each and every day to do our best, continuing each and every way to grow from these tests. And now, says Murray in the chat, and so with a little bit of flowetry, we are ready to see what the universe has. All right. Again, honestly, every time we pull a card, it's always exciting because it's always like, again, like kind of like this process of just like, it's like opening up like a Kinder Surprise egg is the feeling it reminds me of. Friend, like it's like kind of like finding like a little like toy or a little present. So, and it is. It's like literally just like a little like, you know, gift from the universe to be able to receive this. So, charging it up with the light guardian crystal. The card that we are pulling on behalf of Murray, our newest Patreon supporter, is Two of Flames. So again, we'll get right into this reading, and let me allow, just give me one more second here as we open this up. And again, for those of you who are new, like, again, just to clarify, like when I do my readings, I do not do my readings claiming to be psychic, claiming to be like a fortune teller. I know some people do, and that's totally cool if that works for them. I like to kind of like keep mine like very grounded. So again, this isn't supposed to be like me like telling you about your life in some sense. This is just a chance for us to be able to receive a message from the universe and for it to be able to provide like additional insight, inspiration, and guidance. And through that, the synchronicity works where it's just like, yo, that's very relative, and that was actually something like really helpful for me to be able to hear. So just to be able to like give some clarity, because I know like some people on the Twitch are just like, you scamming bastard, blah, blah, what drugs are you on? So thanks again for all the love from the Twitch comments. So it's awesome. I hope you guys stick around and have some fun and just open up to whatever might come through to this, because hey, even if you tune in on Twitch, there's something here for you. For those of you tuning on Instagram, swipe up on Instagram and join in on YouTube, and let's get right into this. So where's my big purple crystal? And just to confirm, Kimmy, no notification on my end, so double check. I can guarantee you that you might not, you didn't sign up for the Patreon completely. You might have gotten to a certain point, and you know it goes through like when you also like, it's like once you like go past the part where you're entering your credit card information. And again, donations don't process till November 1st, so just keep that in mind as well. So all right. Yo, Jimmy, tuning in on Instagram too. All right, so looking at this card here, let's talk a little bit together about the Two of Flames pulled on behalf of Murray for the team, for everybody here. So Two of Flames, visually, what do we have here? We have this beautiful pillar of light, and you can see kind of like beside it, this like sort of ascending pyramid shape of light on the left side and the right side. So it's almost like a big like pillar of light with a more condensed pillar within it. And it's shining up towards the night sky. You can see this beautiful landscape down below, all these trees and a little bit of concrete and kind of like a little bit of like a river within the concrete. So again, that's just a basic explanation of what the actual image is of the card. And we'll read a little bit more from the book here. And again, as we read this, this is for Murray, but this is for anybody listening. So if you're here, this message is for you. So as we do this, we'll keep an eye open for new signups for the Patreon, and please feel free to continue to share this broadcast on YouTube and Instagram so that more people can tune in for the inspiration we're about to bring forth. All right, let's do this. So Mary, I just invite you to just like be present, be here, and be open. So thank you again, brother. Super appreciate your support. Two of flames. The image. Two bundled rays of light come from the infinite universe and meet the limited surface of an unused area in the center of a landscape. Meaning, in the interplay of powers, the dynamic principle reveals itself through the energy of fire within the world of matter. If in the field of tension of polar opposite, man runs the danger of being exposed to the effects of outer influences, then he is challenged to adopt a clear position and collect his energies. I'll reread that again. If in the field of tension of polar opposites, man runs the danger of being exposed to the effects of outer influences, then he is challenged to adopt a clear position and collect his energies. Putting oneself in the way of the outer world means bringing the inner world to a standstill in order to build up the necessary tension that solid, goal-oriented action demands. In spite of all the turbulence, it is necessary to bring the situation in hand and consciously take control in order for the creative energies that lie dormant to be steered in the right direction. I'm going to reread that part. In spite of all the turbulence, it is necessary to bring to bring the situation in hand and consciously take control in order for the creative energies that lie dormant to be steered in the right direction. The recognition of available possibilities and their usefulness bring self-confidence and enables humans to shape life after their own ideas. Successful action calls for careful planning and healthy self-confidence. Contradictions that come from a lack of self-trust are to be overcome through determination. I'll reread that. Contradictions that come from a lack of self-trust are to be overcome through determination. This means taking advantage of opportunities, handling responsibilities, and also taking on the challenges of life. Astrological significance. Mercury, Mars, opposition aspects. Keywords. Making decisions, determination, drive, collecting energy, self-confidence, potency, initiating process, new beginning, dynamic, balance, taking advantage of opportunities. Traditional meaning, taking advantage of opportunities, action, vitality, prioritizing strengths, accepting challenges. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. So this is a super, super exciting card to be able to talk about. And just right before I get into that, I just got a reply to Kimmy's comment. Kimmy, try again on the Patreon. You might need to go right back to my profile link because you might have created a profile. So just go right back to that link and then hit the become a Patreon button and try just doing it again. And it should be pretty straightforward, and it should only take about 3 minutes to do it. If you do have any other questions, just let me know. All right, so let's get right into this. Two of Flames. So this is a very, very powerful card, and one that I'm like, this card for me, a lot of people can kind of interpret it in different ways, but I think this card is a card that really speaks to those times when life is like really testing us, when it is intentionally pushing our buttons to be able to see how we respond to situations. And as you kind of continue to like evolve your consciousness, ultimately this happens. And this may happen like more than you want it to happen, but it is also happening to be able to prove to you that you are capable of passing these tests. And so for Murray, for you, this is a card that may be kind of reflecting on the idea of like, has something happened either recently or just like, you know, in general, that has maybe like pissed you off, that has brought up situations in you where you feel like a little frustrated, where you feel like communication could be better, where you feel like something just kind of like something crossed a boundary, crossed a line, someone kind of like impeded on your free will. And if that happened, again, I'm not trying to do like a psychic thing, I'm more just kind of talking about the general notion of what the card speaks to. If this happens, if and when this happens, because it will, this card is about being aware of how we carry our fire, of how we carry our pillar with clarity, with balance. Again, with that idea of two-ness, thinking about duality, it's all again about kind of like being able to carry both the shadow and the light inside of us, and being able to change the way we relate to our emotions. So for example, again, this is such a powerful card for being able to like honor sacred frustration, honor sacred rage, honor sacred anger, because those things in themselves are actually teaching us of how much we actually love. Because again, if you're angry about something, if you're upset about something, usually that is actually yourself speaking onto the fact that you're only upset about something because you care about something else, because something has stepped over a line, something has stepped over a boundary, something is infringed on some sort of free will in a way that you do not feel comfortable with, that you would not encourage. And yet therefore, when that happens, this card is about being able to like really make sure that we are calling ourselves into responsibility with how we respond, opposed to just react. And I think this card is like, in its way, like this card is one of the earlier kind of like stages of personal awakening, yet becomes more advanced as we continue to evolve through the lessons that are coming forth to us. Meaning that back when like we were originally going through our awakening process, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this, there was this idea of like being mindful in the stage where instead of just reacting, you are responding, where you are changing your relationships, where you are understanding that you are not your emotions, but rather you are the perceiver of them. You are the experiencer of them. So for example, oftentimes our language, we say like, I am angry, I am sad. The better way for us to be able to practice communicating is to be able to say like, I am experiencing anger, I am experiencing sadness. And when you do that, you release the grip that those emotions may have on you, and it allows you to be able to bring yourself back to confidence in choosing how you respond. So for example, something may happen and it may push your button, and imagine if you were just like, oh no, like I'm getting angry, like here it comes, like I can't stop it. Like imagine if it was like a sneeze where it's just like, oh, here it comes, and be like, oh, I fucking hate you. Like, does it work like that? Like, yes and no, but ultimately no, because as we become more mindful, we also become more responsible with being able to observe those situations as they trigger things in us. And so again, your triggers are your teacher. And when you can see that, you'll see someone kind of like, you know, let's just say, for example, you're like standing in a store and like someone steps on the back of your heel. Like, don't you hate that when you're like walking somewhere and someone steps on the back of your heel, and instead of just like turning around and be like, like I'm just gonna punch you in the face or something like that. Like, what if it was just like a little kid who did it by accident? Or what if it was like an old lady? Or what if it was just someone your age who did it by accident? And yet even in that moment, obviously they did it by accident, yet there's a part of you based on old programming that's just like, here's an excuse for me to be able to get angry at something and for it to be justified. And we run with that story, and sometimes that will take us there. And we might experience it, but then afterwards we'll be like, like, how do I feel about that? Like, was that proper? Like, was that like proper etiquette? Was that polite? And so in a situation like that, that is a great little like trigger from the universe where it's just kind of like testing yourself and just be like, again, you know, like, how mindful can you be? How patient can you be? How zen-like can you be? How ninja can you be? And if you want to become more mindful, more resilient, more self-confident, more of an emotional ninja, the only way to get there is through training. The only way to get there is through triggers. And so again, this card is about really being able to acknowledge the decision-making process that arrives in certain situations where we are met with turbulence. Again, do we just kind of like let our rage drive us and let that rage steer the horse and let that rage and anger just kind of like make that decision of what happens next? Or do we observe, become more responsible, and choose how we respond? Choose mindfully, choose love, choose the opportunity to be aware of the lessons that are unfolding and to reflect and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What is this teaching me? What is this showing me? What is this showing me within my heart? Anytime you get angry and you feel anger and you feel rage and you feel turbulence and you feel resistance and you feel what was the word I was trying to use? What was the word I was trying to use there? Frustration, I think was the word I was trying to use. When you feel frustration, basically that is an invitation. When you feel frustration, is an invitation for you to step back and for you to be able to ask yourself, what is the lesson here? How is this serving me? How is this testing me? How is this helping me grow? How is this seeing me show up in this moment with the patience and the resilience that I know I have? That is allowing me to see more of myself. That is allowing me to be able to adopt a clear position and collect my energies instead of just being scattered. To bring what may be kind of like a turbulent energy into the pillars of the Two of Flames. For this to be, again, kind of like the Jedi lightsaber. This like strong beam, this like pillar of light, this Jedi type imagery that comes forward like with this card. And again, the fires in this is a lot to do with kind of like the energy of our emotions, the passion that we carry with us, but being able to use that passion in a way that drives us forward with more determination, collected energy, and deeper self-confidence in our ability to choose, in our ability to be responsible in our choice. And so again, this is a super important card because again, like some of the key words in here: making decisions, initiating process, new beginnings, dynamic, balance, taking advantage of opportunities. So can you see the opportunities that come at you even in the stages of turbulence? Even not in the stages of turbulence, how aware are you of these opportunities? In spite of all the turbulence, it is necessary to bring the situation in hand and consciously take control in order for creative energies that lie dormant to be steered in the right direction. So check in with yourself. How are your energies being steered? How are you steering them? Are they being steered by the situation? Are they being steered by someone else? Is someone, like, again, you know, like, we often give our power away when we say things like, oh, that person made me sad. That person made me angry. That person made me frustrated. Not necessarily, right? Like, the situation evoked anger in you, but that person didn't make you angry. You choosing to be, how you choose to be angry is a choice. And instead, you can be able to say like, oh, the cause and the effect of this evoked anger in me, but I'm not going to give my power away by saying that person made me angry. Because as soon as you say that, you're actually like putting off the responsibility. You're ignoring your own power. You're giving away your own power. So power is like something that can, like, you know, it should only be given. It should never be taken away. So if you feel there's a situation that's taking away your energy, then that's a great opportunity to be able to reflect and just become more aware of like what that situation is actually teaching you. So again, the recognition of available possibilities and their usefulness brings self-confidence and enables humans to shape life after their own ideas. Successful action calls for careful planning and healthy confidence, healthy self-confidence. Contradictions that come from a lack of self-trust are to be overcome through determination. This means taking advantage of opportunities, handling responsibilities, and also taking on the challenges of life. So again, Murray, for you, for everybody here, this is a very powerful card that encourages you. It almost like wants you to be able to like change your relationship with your triggers. Like you actually like want to be able to like have those challenges, because that means it's another opportunity for you to grow. It's like another little like bonus level. Like, oh, what? Like somebody like cut you off in traffic? Like, cool. That's like a little bit of like extra experience points to be able to determine like, are you going to go this way or are you going to go that way? And again, just by being able to be really patient with yourself, not ignoring your emotions, not ignoring your feelings, but observing them, relating to them, honoring them, seeing how they're actually teaching you, seeing how they are actually helping guide you, and seeing how they are actually inviting you to adopt a clear position, and to, again, be able to like make sure that instead of just rushing into things, that when action calls, you're also being able to move forward with careful planning and self-confidence. So this is a very simple but very powerful card to be able to receive. And again, I think it's a card that I'm sure all of us can relate to. Traditional meanings: taking advantage of opportunities, action, vitality, prioritizing strength, accepting challenges. So Murray, for you, let me know how this card resonates with you. And again, this is a very powerful card that just encourages you to change the way that you relate to challenges, that we relate to challenges, and check in with yourself, because maybe this is something where you're just like, okay, sweet, I feel that. I feel me changing my relationship with challenges, and I'm already doing this. Or maybe this is something where it's just like, okay, this is something like for me to like integrate more into my practice. Am I accepting of challenges, or do I resist them? Do I push them away? Because again, if it's when we push them away, that oftentimes they will come back, because the challenges are there to teach us. And until we kind of like take that quiz, the teacher, aka the universe, is going to be like, oh, here's that pop quiz again. And until you like do it, you don't actually get to like move on to the next lesson. So the sooner you accept the pop quiz and be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna ace this, then you move on to what's next. You move into where you are meant to be. Everything that the universe is giving you is giving it to you so that you can take advantage of the opportunities and rise through the challenges and get really good at directing your energy. Where are you putting your energy, and how are you moving it, and how can you get really, really good to be able to say like, yo, this is worth my energy and this isn't worth my energy. Your energy is limited every single day. You have like X number of like, vials of energy. Are you going to spend your energy being angry about something more than you need to, is the important distinguishing element. So again, if something happens and it makes you angry, pay attention to that. That's important. There's something there, but don't spend like 10 hours stuck in that anger emotion. Be aware. You are responsible for how you relate to those energies, for how you relate to those emotions, and how you let them control you, or how you allow yourself to control them and to rise through with them and to be able to like continue to grow from them. So awesome. Murray says, thanks, very relevant, needed reminder to own responsibility and feel my emotions and express my authenticity, embrace life and its challenges. Beautiful, beautiful, Murray. Absolutely. That's very much like what this card is about. So yeah, super, super important. And again, really just like a big part in this is really also acknowledging the worth of your time and the worth of your energy. And there may be certain people who might kind of like, again, show up as challenges in your life to to almost try and be like, almost kind of like, they're like trying to piss you off, or they're trying to trigger you, or they're trying to get your attention, or they're trying to create drama. And they may not even be doing this consciously. Again, this may be kind of like the universe kind of acting through them. But you need to be responsible to be able to say like, hey, look, like nothing personal, but I'm creating this boundary and I'm saying no to putting my energy into this situation any more than I need to, because I'm saying yes to putting my energy towards more things that are worthwhile of my energy, right? So how many times has that happened when some of us like get like we get sucked into these like drama vortexes, right? Like it's going to happen at some point in our life, and usually by the time we're done with it, we're just like, I'm done with drama. Like next time if that happens, like there's ways to mitigate it. There's ways to be able to just be like, yo, like sorry, but like, like block and bless. Here are my boundaries. If you can't honor them, like if there's nothing that we have more to discuss, then like here's my like, this is my conditions, honor them, and I'm going to focus on my own thing. And I'm going to keep moving forward. And again, like sometimes those drama-like situations show up to be able to teach us how to set healthy boundaries, how to be able to like set those conditions for ourselves. Yo, Alistair, thanks for joining in on Instagram. If you want to swipe up on my Instagram story, you can tune in on YouTube as well. So anybody else, leave an 1111 in the comment. Let me know how that card relates to you. Again, keywords for the Two of Flames: making decisions, determination, drive, collective energy, self-confidence, potency, initiating process, new beginning, dynamics, balance, taking advantage of opportunities. Traditional meaning: action, vitality, prioritizing strength, accepting challenges. So last thing I will just say, instead of like, you know, the story of good night, Anita, thanks for joining in, of just like having our energy spread out in like all of these different places, like what happens when we can prioritize our energy, when we can focus our vitality. Suddenly, instead of like having to deal with this and this and like be distracted by this and that, like what happens when we can allow ourselves to really just be like really freaking proud of our ability to be able to say no to certain things because we are saying yes to the value that we put towards our attention, towards our energy, and how we continue to use it and how we continue to move forward with it. So again, see those challenges, see those triggers as teachers, and see those as invitations to be able to like set those healthy boundaries, to be able to relate to our emotions in a way where, again, we are controlling them and they're not controlling us while we're still learning from them at the same time. And see this as a way for you to like sharpen your sword, to focus your lightsaber, and to get really freaking clear on what you're moving towards moving forward. And then as those distractions come, you're just like deflecting them like Neo from the Matrix. You know, it's like Agent Smith coming at you with all these punches and blocks. You're like distraction, like rage from like some friend, somebody else's drama that they're trying to put on you, you know, like some person who like cut you off in traffic, like, you know, like this little thing. And then meanwhile, you're just like super zen and you're just like, and you get in this flow state and you just get like really good at, again, just being able to like not care, but just like really being able to like focus on what's important for your journey. And you're allowed to say no to certain things because you're saying yes to yourself and yes to what you recognize as being important for your next steps on your journey. So there's a little bit there again for the Two of Flames. Super awesome card about being able to like honor our experiences, honor our challenges, honor our emotions, and continuing to rise into more responsibility about how we relate to them as we continue to focus our energy and our attention and our power towards the things that we are passionate about being able to create. So very, very cool card. So thank you again, Murray. If you want to be able to send me a message on Facebook, I can send you a picture of the write-up here, and then you can look at the write-up here from the book and take a look at that later as well. Yo, Kevin Bulmer, thanks for joining in. If you're still here, please feel free to leave a comment down in the chat. Kevin Bulmer, for those of you who saw, the host of Mo Mondays London, and he was in the video that I posted recently of me doing my talk on stage at Mo Mondays. So, which was like the one about like becoming a superhero I always was. So, awesome. Allison saying, this is literally what I was telling a good friend last night. Wow, super cool. GTM says, great reading, love it. I'm off to sleep. Much love and light. Good night, all. Good night, Brendan. Thank you. GTM, thank you again. I'll keep in touch on Instagram as well. Excuse me. All right, Murray, thank you again. If there's any other comments that you want to share in the chat, or even just any message that you want to share with the people tuned in right now, please feel free to do that. And yeah, I'll read that on air. Morphic Crystal, thank you so much for joining in. Super excited to just be able to like connect with amazing people here. And Morphic, I'm always grateful to be able to have you here and for your support on Patreon, and sending you some bonus vibes for everybody here, for all of you who are like going to sleep, because again, it's getting late right now, but West Coast people are still tuning in. So Morphic, thanks for tuning in, sending you lots of love, and absolutely get some good rest. Tomorrow awaits. So sweet. All right, thank you again, everyone. Let's check in on the numbers and we'll just do a quick intermission here. For those of you who are here for the first time, thank you so much for joining in. We'll do a quick little intermission. I'm not sure if Kimmy is still here. Kimmy, if you're still here, let me know. I know you're in the process of signing up for the Patreon. We've got 15 likes on YouTube, and thank you again so much, everyone, for just adding your support to this broadcast in all forms. Thank you to our newest Patreon supporter, Murray, for signing up tonight, for allowing us to do that recent reading. And again, from here, what we'll do, we'll hang tight for a little bit, and the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up on Patreon. And again, Patreon is a monthly micro contribution to be able to help support the ongoing work that I do for the community as a conscious media creator, and also get you some awesome value. So when you sign up for the Patreon, you're not just supporting me, but you're getting support in return as well. So it's a super cool way to be able to help continue to support each other in what we're doing. Awesome, Murray, thank you so much for your support. And yeah, send me a DM and I'll send you the picture for what we got here. All right, I'm just going to take a little bit of an intermission, a little bit of a break. Things are kind of winding down, but I'm totally cool with doing some more readings. And again, the next readings that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And we did have a couple other people who are in the process of signing up, but I'm not 100% sure if they're still tuned in right now. So Kimmy and Five Bless, if you are still tuned in, please feel free to let me know. And again, for anybody else who is here and looking for a next reading on air, we will do a next reading for the next person who signs up on Patreon. And again, when you sign up on Patreon, you can also get discounts for items at questitemshop.com. You can get a access as a leading member within the community, and you can also get a super beautiful Light Guardian crystal as an additional pay what you wish contribution, and all sorts of other cool, awesome stuff that we provide through the community, including exclusive webinars still coming up in the future to be able to help teach you a little bit about how to build your own Patreon over time. So awesome. Thank you again, everyone. So again, we're just taking a little bit of an intermission. We'll do our next reading for the next person who signs up on Patreon. So if you're in the process of signing up, please let me know. It only takes about 3 minutes. And again, that's supporting the work that I do as a conscious media creator. And eventually, like straight up, like eventually, like what I'm planning on doing is like traveling. You know, like that's essentially like a big part of like being able to raise the funds on Patreon. The work that I'm doing now will allow me to do things like traveling in the future, you know, to be able to like go places, to be able to like meet you, to do free hugs, to do documentation, and continue to like do amazing things for the team. And we've been doing this for quite some time. So again, just to be able to have everyone's support in all forms is super appreciated. So we've done 2 readings for tonight, and we may call it a night. Again, if we do get another Patreon supporter in the next little bit, then we'll do another reading. If we don't, then I may end up just calling it a night and getting to sleep, and then we'll start another broadcast tomorrow. Beautiful. Thank you again, Murray. I'll get back to the DMs after this broadcast. All right, so if anyone here, simply just give me a quick, drop a quick 333 in the chat. Let me know that you are tuned in right now. We've got like probably less than 10 people tuned in, which again is totally fine. That's just kind of like what happens as the broadcast kind of goes on throughout the night. And again, I appreciate everybody joining in. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna get these images here from Murray. Ready? All right, so go ahead. Just let me know who is tuned in right now. And if there's literally like just only like I'm okay, like still again, I want to be able to do another reading, and I'd love to be able to invite another person to sign up for the Patreon. If you have any questions about the Patreon, let me know. We'll hang tight here, and what I may end up doing is even just like switching over and playing some video games for a bit. And then again, if anyone signs up for the Patreon, then we can literally like switch over and do a reading as soon as someone signs up for the Patreon. Whew. But yeah, wishing everyone a good day. Thank you again for being here, for joining in. Ashley, Rainbow of Boxes, thank you again so much. Yeah, it's been a long day for me too. So I literally, like, I was at like another event tonight doing some filming and stuff, and then came home and got right onto this broadcast pretty much. And again, I'm going to be doing some more broadcasts tomorrow. I'm probably going to be doing like a couple of these throughout the day tomorrow. And part of the reason for that is because we're we are at the point where the Patreon donations process on November 1st. So our objective is to get as many new Patreon signups as we can before November 1st. And the Patreon donations process, again, November 1st. And my objective is to literally get, like, I'm going to try and get, like, 10 new Patreon signups tomorrow. Because tomorrow I actually have, like, the ability to, like, literally just do, like, a bunch of broadcasts tomorrow. Because I've got, like, a little bit of time for it. Yo, Eddie Grace. Much love, brother. Thank you so much for joining in. Eddie, if you want to join in on YouTube, you can go to my Instagram story and swipe up there. Whatever works for you, dude. We've been going for a little bit. We've done 2 readings so far, and right now we're just kind of hanging tight to be able to see if anybody else is signing up for the Patreon. And as we get a new Patreon sign up, we'll do a next reading for them. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. And I'll just, like, kind of, like, play with my, like, lightsaber. For the next person who signs up for the Patreon, I'll do a lightsaber dance for you guys as well. So that's a promise right there. So just pay me money and I'll dance. Is that how this works? Essentially. Yo, Space Fairy, thanks for joining in again. We did 2 readings so far tonight, and again, I want to check in with the chat. If anybody here is either signed up for the Patreon, even if you want to update your Patreon pledge, that is an option as well. And if you update your Patreon pledge, then we will do another reading for someone from the chat as well. So thank you again, everyone, for your support. Rainbow of Boxes, thank you again for joining in. And yeah, been some awesome value created tonight, hanging out as a team. Rainbow Boxes, no problem. Thanks again for joining in. We do ongoing broadcasts where, again, we do, like, the readings right off the start for people right from the chats. And yeah, again, it's like, for those of you who are just, like, you know, like, the Patreon, again, it's less about money and more about global impact and about being able to create the conditions that honor like what it is that we're working towards as a team. So this is like me being able to, like, earn the support on the Patreon is also like me serving the community by being able to, like, earn the support that supports the community. So think about it less of money and more about being able to continue to honor the conditions that are going to help us grow the project for everyone. So, yo, Eddie, thanks for joining in, man. Hope you had a good day, dude. All right. Cool. Okay, so yeah, we've done 2 readings. Yeah, Eddie, it is 12:30 right now. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock right now, actually. Okay. All right, so for those of you who are here, yeah, probably what I'm going to do, since it's like the end of the night and we've already done a couple readings, which is awesome, and I'm super excited just to be able to, like, do that. I may either just end the broadcast soon, which will allow me to get to sleep because we still got another day tomorrow, or I may just play some video games real quick. So, you guys in the chat, let me know what you would like me to do next. If you would like to either just wrap up the broadcast and save it for tomorrow, or if I should play a little bit of video games. Eddie, dude, it's always good to hear from you, man. Thank you so much. Eddie, let me know if, like, you want to connect. We got some open mic stuff happening next week. If you're interested in joining on air for that, dude, let me know. Jake, thanks for tuning in on Twitch. Cool. All right, for anybody tuned in to the broadcast right now, just go ahead and drop a 333 in the comments. And I think I'm probably just going to wrap up the broadcast. Again, if anybody else... Allison, I'm making you sleepy. Allison, you mean you're not watching me on the treadmill right now? Again, so if anybody here who's already signed up for the Patreon wants to update their Patreon pledge, then we can also do one more reading. Like, I'm totally okay doing one more reading, and it's what you guys would like to be able to do. And so if we can get one more Patreon sign up as well, then we can do one more reading. Or if anybody here, dude, yes, Eddie, let's keep in touch, man. Good to hear from you. So again, for those of you joining, we've done a couple readings during this broadcast, and we're just hanging tight right now. We're working towards our objective of 2 Patreon signups during this broadcast, and we did get one recently, and that was from Murray, and thank you again, Murray. And again, if we do get another Patreon sign up, then we'll do a next reading for that person, and we'll keep an eye open for that. So excuse me. Yeah, I think it's probably just a good idea to just like wrap it up. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make you guys tired too. So yeah, okay. Allison's telling me to go to bed, so I think that makes it official. So last call. If anybody wants a reading on air and is in the process of signing up for the Patreon or updating their Patreon pledge, go ahead and let me know. And once we've determined that, then we will wrap this up. And I'm just gonna play. Let's see. Man, tomorrow I'm gonna be like, I think I'm gonna be filming some of my hockey with my 360 camera during my game, which is like crazy. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna play like a little bit of video games before I go to bed. Okie dokie. Alright. There's like this one game that I've been playing recently. It's like a really advanced like side-scrolling like spaceship shooter. So I'll show you guys that in a second. So again, for those of you who are just joining, we're wrapping up the broadcast, but I'm still open to doing one more reading if anybody signs up for the Patreon while we're doing this. Otherwise, we're just hanging out, playing some video games for the next little bit, and winding down the broadcast. And stay tuned again, as we'll be doing some more readings in the coming future. Whoa, Robbie, thanks for joining in. Right now, we're just kind of winding down the broadcast. I'm still open to doing another reading, and the way how we do the readings here is in exchange for people signing up on Patreon, which continues to support the ongoing work that we're doing as a community and support my work that I do as a media creator. And so, whoa, Robbie, go ahead and check out my Patreon. And if you're interested in signing up on that, it only takes about 3 minutes. And when you sign up on that, you can also get a super beautiful Light Guardian crystal as an additional pay what you wish contribution. And you can also get all sorts of other cool discounts and perks. So whoa Robbie in the YouTube, go ahead and check that out. And if you're interested in signing up for the Patreon, you can do that. And it only takes about 3 minutes. And we can do, again, I'm okay doing like one more reading. And in the meantime, I am literally just going to start winding down and play a little bit of a really cool video game. So give me 2 seconds here. It's like old school stuff we're talking here. It's like Super Nintendo arcade style. All right, here we go. I'm glad I'm not running on the treadmill right now, dude. Don't want to fall asleep listening to your yawns. I know, right, Allison? It's like, I came here for tarot readings and all you're giving me are yawns. I'm unsubscribing. Basically, right? That's okay. Fact of life, you're not going to please everyone. Like, that's literally just not a thing. So, that's okay. Like, that's all right. Like, again, I know what happens. I honestly do my best to like try and please every single person that comes into this broadcast. But again, I know some people are just going to be like, no, this isn't for me. And that's okay. You know, I honor them making that choice too. All right. So this is some Earth Defense Force game. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. You guys can keep me in the loop. by messaging in the chat, and I'll just like keep replying there. Let's see, how's the frame rate look on this? The frame rate's like kind of choppy on the video, but it's still not too bad. All right, how do I slow down here? Whoa, 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 whoa. So this game is like a super like non-forgiving shoot 'em up game. Meaning it's like kind of designed for like pro gamers. And it just gets like increasingly harder. So again, for those of you who are tuned in right now, yeah, this is live tarot readings, but right now we're just winding down and I'm just playing like one round of this game. But if anybody would like a reading during the broadcast, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon and we can still do one more reading for you. Oh no, I got hit. No! Pew, 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 pew. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Ugh! Oh man. So this game's pretty cool because you like level up too. And you can level up your weapons, but you only get like 3 hits. If you get hit 3 times, then you have to like restart the level. So for anybody tuned in right now, just go ahead and leave a comment. Just drop some 333s in the chat because I don't know how many people are tuned in right now. Pew, 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 pew. But yeah, after this we'll be wrapping up. Cool. Thanks, Allison, for your support. Super appreciated. Pew, 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 pew. Reminder, if you guys didn't already yet, check out the synergy circle that we did last night. That was a super exciting broadcast that we did. Like, that was really good. And we're doing the broadcast like on our new time schedule. So we're doing them on Sundays now. Sundays at 7 p.m. Just because that's when like more people can join in. Pew, 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 pew. And yeah, we've been doing this broadcast for almost like over 2 hours now. So like I said, so I'm just going to play this and see how far I can get on one proper continue. Whoa. Oh, is it this? Nope. Oh, oh man. Oh, I got hit again. Dang. Let's hope I can beat the first level. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm definitely looking forward to sleep. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just gonna like fall asleep while playing this game. Do you guys got your Halloween costumes figured out yet? Did you guys like my Halloween costume? My Misato Katsuragi gender bend cosplay? I don't know if it counts as gender bend if it's like a male playing a male version of a female character. I don't think that counts as gender bending. Awesome. Thanks, Allison. I'm glad you were able to tune into that. Yeah, so the next one this Sunday for the Synergy Circle is going to be open mic. So that's going to be pretty exciting. How can I get on your upcoming open mic? So Allison, the open mic is, again, like, this to join that broadcast or any broadcast, like, that's for our leading members. So that's the $11 a month option on Patreon. If you do have like some poetry that you just want to share, like, you can always send me a DM and I can always like read it on air. But there's going to be like quite a few leading members who are going to be there. So if you kind of like want to book a spot, the best way would be to sign up as a leading member on Patreon. And again, that's for like that broadcast and other broadcasts. Does that make sense? Let me know. I want to destroy this thing. I've never actually destroyed it before. It's got like so much health. Yes! I did it. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, Allison, what are you interested in sharing? Is it poetry, song, music? A little bit of both? Stand-up comedy? Are you gonna work your stand-up comedy routine? I would love to see. I feel like I might do some stand-up comedy. Get some. Watch out. Yeah, Allison, what is it that you're interested in sharing? Like, do you have some poetry that you write? Which reminds me, I'll have to write some new poetry. I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to perform something new. Yeah, the synergy circles are really cool, and again, like the open mics are also like super fun because it's just like such a creative collaboration of amazing people such as yourself. Totally understandable, Allison. Yes, I understand. No worries at all. No, not stand-up comedy. Choo. Whoa. Look at this level. You're like flying above this like futuristic city. It looks so cool. Kind of looks like LA. Ooh, that's interesting, Allison. Saying, I recently found out that I sing in light language and speak it. Wow. Yeah, I've seen people do that, like sing in light language. That's really beautiful, actually. Alright, so like I said, I'm just kind of like playing here. Let's see how far I can get in this game with however many continues I have. See if I can beat this level on one go. And then I will be going to bed. That should be like a thing, like sleep deprived gaming marathon. Oh god. But no, once I wake up tomorrow, we'll do some more readings tomorrow. And like with tomorrow, pretty much what we'll be doing is just like back-to-back readings, and then out of there just like making sure that people are engaged and people are sharing the broadcast, and then like continuously getting like new readings, and then out of that like new Patreon signups and stuff like that. Because I know like sometimes like I'll do it where it's just like, okay, like first reading right out of the chat, and then the next reading will be for a Patreon sign up. And then if there isn't a Patreon sign up, then it kind of like slows things down. And then people are just like, I'm not tuning in. So what is also useful if we just go like right from like reading to reading to reading. And then people are like, sweet, I want to get in on this. And then I want to jump the line for the next reading. Pew, pew, pew. So that's what we'll do more of tomorrow. So it'll literally just be like ongoing readings tomorrow. There won't be like any sort of like halt in readings. Choo, 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 choo. This boss is pretty easy, surprisingly. Boss fights of life. Whoa. Ah. Yeah, Allison, even if you like yeah, like even if you're like posting videos to your Instagram, like Allison, what's your Instagram? Just so I can like, if you're on Instagram, like if you're posting there, I'll keep an eye open for it. I just want to make sure. And you can even post in our team chat, like even if you have like any poetry or anything that you want to share. Get some 3, 2, 1. This guy's almost done. There we go. Yeah, and with the Patreon, like again, like I like to remind people that like with the Patreon to like think of it as also an investment for yourself. So like with the Patreon, again, like with what I'm working on providing more of in the future, it's like a way for you to be supported in developing your skills and to have community, and especially for people who are like focusing on being conscious media creators and entrepreneurs. It's like a good investment, you know? It's like experience, networking, like being able to be on air, introducing people to your content, getting stuff published. So instead of it being like, oh, I'm just paying for something, it's like, no, I'm investing and I'm actually like making money because of this investment. So if that makes sense for you, Allison, again, like even just kind of like think of that as like a vibrational thing where it's like, okay, like how do I want to invest in myself? You know? A lot of people who are kind of like have trouble manifesting money are usually people who are like not always like willing to invest in themselves. And obviously that's going to be like relative depending on how much they can invest in themselves. But oftentimes like until someone invests in themselves, like they'll probably like stay in a similar loop. Which is why like for like coaches and entrepreneurs, like a lot of people say that it'd be like, yeah, like I had to spend, you know, like $300 on a program that taught me how to do this thing so that I could earn $3,000, you know? Cool. Roger that, Allison. Well, Allison, thank you again for tuning in. Allison, I would encourage you to check out Instagram, even just to like follow me on Instagram, because there's like more stuff that I post there that you would probably get a kick out of. Cool, Allison. I'll have to check out your YouTube channel. I honestly don't think I'm subscribed to it, so I'm literally gonna do that now. Perfect. I shall check out those videos. Excuse me. subscribes. Cool. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna have to wrap up this broadcast soon enough. Whoa. Alright, this is my last run. This part's tricky. Ooh, that was close. Thanks, Allison. Yes, going to bed soon. Cool. Yeah, now I can go to bed. Sweet. All right, bedtime for Brendan. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. I'll be doing a bunch more readings tomorrow, so please feel free to tune into that. Subscribe at youtube.com/SkullBabylon if you haven't already. And thank you so much for joining in. Allison, everyone else, super appreciated. And as always, keep it shifty. Now, I'll see you in the future. Have an awesome night. Much love. And thank you again.